This is Northern Light for Tuesday, August 11th. Good morning. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Catherine Wheeler. State and volunteer crews have been working this summer to clean up and rebuild the trail through Avalanche Pass.
From the DEC to any other organization, they don't always have the people power. So they have the knowledge and their leadership is fantastic. So we can provide that power, that energy, that enthusiasm to do the work.
Also on the show, the state is pushing for more adults without college degrees to enroll in a program that allows them to attend community college for free.
It makes it almost worry-free because I've gone to school 3 times before this and walked away with, several $1,000s in student loans. So it's like I don't have that worry anymore.
And we have a conversation with Kingston Whig-Standard reporter Gare Joyce, who has written a series of articles for the paper commemorating the 50th anniversary of the time the Summer Olympics came to Kingston.
All that's coming up on Northern Light. Stick with us. Support for Northern Light here on North Country Public Radio comes from the Adirondack Community Foundation, guiding the generosity of families and individuals to address the Adirondack region's biggest challenges, including housing, childcare, and career pathways. adkcommunityfoundation.org. And from the Seagull Festival in Schroon Lake, presenting Rodgers and Hammerstein's The Sound of Music, August 19th through the 22nd. More at seagullfestival.org. This is Northern Light. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Catherine Wheeler. A jury in Essex County found a Canadian man guilty yesterday of killing his 9-year-old daughter last summer. Luciano Fratelline had been traveling with his daughter Melina from Montreal last July. He reported that Melina had been abducted along the Northway near Lake George. But Fratelline's cell phone data was pinging in the Ticonderoga area. Police eventually discovered the girl's body in a pond in Ticonderoga. Essex County District Attorney Michael Langley said the digital evidence was key to the case.
The digital evidence in this case made the case. It's the only reason that they found her. She was 40 miles away in the woods under a tree. The fact that they found her was, it was a miracle. And the fact that they found her less than a day is a, tribute to the use of technology in criminal cases.
An autopsy revealed that Melina died of asphyxia due to drowning. The manner of death was ruled a homicide. Defense attorneys offered no comment other than saying it was a difficult case. Fratelline was arrested after police determined he had lied about her kidnapping. He was charged with second-degree murder and concealment of a human corpse. Fratelline is scheduled to be sentenced on October 14th.
President Trump will appear Friday afternoon with Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman. As Jimmy Vielkind reports for the New York Public News Network, the visit comes as Blakeman campaigns against Governor Kathy Hochul.
Blakeman says in a statement that he's, quote, grateful that Trump is going to tour the county's law enforcement facilities. Blakeman often touts his friendship with the president, including during a recent campaign stop in Albany.
I have philosophical differences with President Trump on some things, and some things I don't. In most things, I think that we are completely allied together on the important things.
The Democratic governor's campaign says Blakeman is a, quote, MAGA fanboy, and says Hochul is pushing back on Trump-backed cuts to federal health care spending. Polls show most New York voters have an unfavorable view of the president. In Albany, I'm Jimmy Vielkind for the New York Public News Network.
A popular trail in the Adirondacks has been closed for more than a year after heavy rain triggered a massive landslide. State and volunteer crews have been working this summer to clean up and rebuild the trail through Avalanche Pass. Michelle McCall is a trail leader with the Adirondack 46ers. Last month, she and dozens of volunteers helped rebuild a section of the Avalanche Pass trail. It's back-breaking work. They spend days crushing rocks, moving lumber, and digging ditches, all through a heat wave. McCall spoke with our Adirondack reporter Emily Russell about the impact of the landslide and the work that's been done to reopen the trail.
Had there been no work done at all, I would describe it as it was like a bomb had hit. So you look up the hill and it's a slab of clear rock. And then in the valley, or the part leading to Avalanche Lake, was just filled with all kinds of rock debris, trees, tree roots, water in strange places. Like I said, it's like a bomb had gone off.
So you helped coordinate a trail work weekend up there for the Adirondack 46ers. What kind of physical work was the crew doing?
Well, luckily, there have been other crews up there, and there was a wonderful bridge going over a big bog that was quite deep, 5-6 feet deep. So luckily, that part was already done. So once we arrived, there were multiple jobs. Lumber had been flown in, so we did a lot of moving of lumber to the places they were going to use it to build. We actually did some of the building of, they call it bog bridging, over either muddy areas or over areas that would dip down. They would put it on there. We did a tremendous amount of breaking of rocks. So what you do is you take a small sledge or a big sledgehammer, and other people were delivering the rocks, and then people were breaking the rocks up, and then we had a crew carrying the shards of rocks to the various locations. The idea is you build up the trail, or you build up any of the bog bridging that you're building. You want to put rocks under to stabilize it and to keep it from just sinking in the mud. The other primary huge job that we did, besides the bog bridging and the breaking of the rocks, we were digging a really long drainage ditch, because as you can imagine, when all of the trees and debris and dirt and rocks, when they dumped into this area, now there's no clear way for the water to drain. So there was one drain that had already been dug, and then we were digging another one so that the water can come down through there.
What was it like coordinating volunteers for a project like this?
Well, that was actually one of the biggest challenges, because as you can imagine, we had to divide up into multiple small groups to be working in different areas and just keep everyone busy. And everybody is really anxious to contribute. So making sure that everybody has a job to do, that took a lot of coordinating. And we have a lot of experience, so we relied on not only trail masters, but our experienced lead workers to help with that, so we could keep everyone going. The other challenge was it was incredibly hot, and we were working in a very sunny area, so we were making sure everybody was staying hydrated, that we were rotating the jobs and making sure everybody, could rotate around.
Why is it important for the Adirondack 46ers to volunteer and be part of repairing this trail?
Well, we really like to give back, and we have a lot of knowledge in this group. And the reality is, from the DEC to any other organization, they don't always have the people power. So they have the knowledge, and their leadership is fantastic. So we can provide that power, that energy, that enthusiasm to do the work under the guidance of the DEC and Tate Connor.
Avalanche Pass is, of course, a very popular trail year-round. So I wonder what you'd want folks to know about the work that had to go into building this back up, when people are back on the trail, say this fall or winter.
I guess just enjoy what is there. Try to stay on the trails instead of making them wider, follow the trails as is. And if you see somebody out working on the trails, say thank you. And my experience is people do that. It's been really, really nice when people walk by and say, hey, who are you? And we let them know, and they say, thank you so much for doing the work. It really makes you feel appreciated.
That was Michelle McCall speaking with Emily Russell. McCall is a trail master with the Adirondack 46ers and oversaw dozens of volunteers who helped rebuild the trail to Avalanche Pass. Another group of volunteers will be working on the trail this weekend. The state says it hopes to reopen Avalanche Pass this fall. This is NCPR.
You're listening to Northern Light from North Country Public Radio. It's 8:11. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Catherine Wheeler. Stick around. A reporter in Kingston, Ontario is commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Summer Olympics there.
That conversation in just a few minutes here on Northern Light. But first, let's hear a little more music from Scott Shipley out of Canton. Northern Light is supported by Adirondack Harvest, providing residents and visitors with a directory of local farmers markets to access locally sourced foods. Market details at adirondackharvest.com/markets. And from Keys Financial Services, now partnered with BK Capital LLC, offering investments, financial planning, and insurance for over 35 years. Offices in Lake Placid and Durham, Connecticut. Keys-financial.com.
The SUNY Reconnect program is going into its second year in New York. The program allows adults without college degrees to attend community college for free. Samuel King with the New York Public News Network reports on the growth of the SUNY Reconnect program and how leaders hope it reaches more adults this year.
Judy-Ann Ullman was pleasantly surprised when she stopped by an informational session for the SUNY Reconnect program.
Oh, it's that easy?
Yeah, so it's not like other programs where you have to fill out.
She's a healthcare worker who lives near Albany and is interested in studying nursing at SUNY Fulton Montgomery Community College in Johnstown because she's heard good things about the program.
The day I went to go do my boards, my mother fell and hurt her spine. Never took my boards, just been life. And I did a lot of things, got a lot of accomplishments, but I never did my nurse, you know what I'm saying? Like finish my RN.
SUNY Reconnect is designed for adults 25 to 55 like Allman, who, for whatever reason, didn't get a college degree, and people like Autumn Lucas, a mother of three from Amsterdam, who signed up for the Addiction Services program this fall.
I didn't think college was in my plans anymore. 3 kids and another one on the way. It wasn't something that I thought was in my cards, and the fact that they're willing to work with me so much on so many different levels, it's given me a lot of hope that this is something that I can do.
According to SUNY, 5,600 students took advantage of the program in its first year, including 38 students at Fulton Montgomery. Monroe Community College had the most students at 683, followed by SUNY Broome with 568. Officials said enrollment included 329 people between 50 and 55. People like George Dunkley, also in the Addiction Studies program at Fulton Montgomery, back in school at 53 years old. He says not having to pay tuition lifts a major burden.
It's the only money I've spent on campus is in the vending machine. So, it makes it almost worry-free because I've gone to school 3 times before this and walked away with, several $1,000s in student loans. And if you've had student loans, they never go away. So it's like I don't have that worry anymore.
Associate Dean of Enrollment Management John Ramaska says they hope to double the number of students in the program on campus this fall. He says SUNY Reconnect has been a boost to the campus and the local economy.
We have partnerships with local employers like Global Foundries, where a lot of our computer science and robotics and systems technology students can work. So a lot of different opportunities local in the Fulton Montgomery area, the Capital Region, for these programs specifically. So the good thing is for most of these students, when they complete their program, one of the last things they really have to worry about is finding gainful employment.
SUNY Chancellor John King says new funding in this year's budget will help support outreach efforts and is allowing the program to expand to more campuses and sectors this fall. Now the challenge is growing the number of spots in high-demand programs, including nursing. The new budget added an exception for students who already have a degree in other fields to study nursing.
We've got to recruit additional faculty. We've got to invest in the equipment and the space for students, whether it's in nursing or advanced manufacturing or in cybersecurity or in renewable energy.
and expand opportunities for people like Almond who are ready to take the next step to fulfill a lifelong goal.
That's where my heart is. So it will make me feel like I accomplished what I was set out to do.
The fall semester begins soon at SUNY campuses, some on August 24th. For Fulton Montgomery, it's September 2nd. In Johnstown, I'm Samuel King for the New York Public News Network.
The deadline is approaching for farmers and food producers to apply for a tariff relief program from the state. $30 million is available through the Agricultural Resiliency Against Tariffs program. The money is meant for dairy, livestock, specialty crop, and aquaculture producers to deal with the impact of federal tariffs last year. Farmers and producers must apply by midnight tonight. Payments range from a minimum of $1,000 to a maximum of $25,000. Governor Kathy Hochul first proposed the program as part of her State of the State address, and it was funded as part of the state budget. You can find more information at the State Department of Agriculture's website.
St. Lawrence County is looking for vendors to participate in its annual Craft Food and Wine Open Air Market. The event is on Saturday, September 12th at the St. Lawrence Power and Equipment Museum in Madrid. Vendors sell locally made goods, including wine, honey, baked items, pottery, jewelry, and handcrafted gifts. According to the Watertown Daily Times, the event draws thousands of regional shoppers and marks the beginning of the North Country holiday shopping season. Admission is $5, and children 12 and under enter for free. Vendors who are interested in selling items at the market can submit an application on St. Lawrence County's website.
And an abandoned site in Canton is now a craft brewery and tap room. Bent Beam Brewery officially opened this spring after a $2 million renovation. The facility has 2 patio areas, craft beer and entertainment. The project received $610,000 in state funding. It was through the Restore New York Communities Initiative and Regional Council Capital Fund, in addition to local and regional funding. A retired professor at SUNY, St. Lawrence University is head brewer of the facility. According to the Watertown Daily Times, local authorities consider this renovation project to be one of many initiatives in improving downtown Canton and utilizing the abandoned buildings. This is NCPR. You're listening to Northern Light only here on North Country Public Radio. It's 8:19. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Catherine Wheeler. Stick around after the show for Bird Note coming up at 8:42. With our eyes to the skies, sunset in Norwood is at 8:12 tonight, and the moon is a waning crescent at 2% full.
You've got a gorgeous day coming your way today. Sunny skies are on tap, low humidity. High is expected to be in the mid-70s to lower 80s. Once some areas of fog clear out this morning. Winds out of the northwest today should be pretty light, around 15 miles an hour, maybe a little gusty in there, up to 25 miles per hour, but should be just a lovely day to be outside today. At last check, it was 65 degrees in Indian Lake and in Malone, too. 73 degrees in Ticonderoga and Whitehall. 69 degrees in Cape Vincent and Chazy, and 64 in Old Forge.
50 years ago, the North Country had a front row seat to the Olympic Summer Games. Montreal hosted the 1976 Olympics, and the sailing portion of the competition was held right in Kingston, Ontario, just across the St. Lawrence River from Cape Vincent. Competitors stayed at the Athletes' Village on the campus of Queen's University. Fans watched local high school students light an Olympic flame at the opening ceremonies. Queen Elizabeth even watched the competition from a nearby ship.
Kingston Whig-Standard reporter Gare Joyce has written a series of articles for the paper commemorating the 50th anniversary of the time the Summer Olympics came to Kingston. He spoke with Northward's podcast host Mitch Tyke.
The 76 Summer Games were in Montreal, and there is water around Montreal. So why were these yachting events taking place off the coast of Kingston, if you will.
I don't know how reliable the winds and conditions were around Montreal, but it was really going back to original planning, back in the late 60s when the Olympic bid was being put together by the Montreal organizers. They were going to have to go off-site, and there was no going up the St. Lawrence. And Kingston is kind of as close to ideal, a hub for sailing in the Great Lakes on the Canadian side at the very least. So there was a long-standing yacht club in Kingston Yacht Club. There was a lot of history here in great conditions.
So set the setting for us, if you will, for people who aren't necessarily familiar with the geography there. Where were these events taking place?
The Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie courses out on Lake Ontario. There were different sites and courses set up going back to regattas as soon as their bid was approved. This is going to like 1970. Cork, the Canadian Olympic Regatta Kingston, really had not just a rehearsal, but yearly rehearsals going from 71 through 75. The big pre-Olympic race here in 75 in all classes was the real test. And in a lot of ways, it might have even been tougher because it was a more crowded field. When you get to the Olympics, for instance, the catamaran class was the tornado class. There were 15 boats, right? And in the pre-Olympic regatta, there would be 30. So all kinds of aspirants came out for the pre-Olympics. And in 75, it was pretty hellacious, high wind, gale force conditions. In 76, they actually had to call a day because of lack of wind, which is atypical. There were rollovers and lightning strikes in 75. So those who came to pre-scout the event and the area in 75 came away with a very different picture of what the conditions were going to be like.
Was there a lot of excitement about having these events in Kingston?
In Kingston, for sure. I mean, it was, an Olympics coming to a city the size of Kingston, any sort of world championship or something like that. It was occasion for the Queen to come, for all of the big Olympic brass, Lord Callanan, and the future IOC president, Juan Antonio Samaranch, was here. It was also, Kingston had an expectation of how the Olympics were going to play out. That kind of took an unexpected turn in 72 with the terrorist attack in Munich. So Kingston would have been one of the safer places on the planet for a city its size in the summer of 76. Sailing is a tough sport as far as spectators.
I was going to ask that. Like, how did people watch this?
It got even tougher after Munich, in that there were frogmen out on the lake and all kinds of security that was in place, not just because of Munich. You've also got the Queen was here, and all kinds of heads of state and VIPs, people who would be targets for possible terrorists. So it was one thing that the experienced sailors talked about. A few of them had been in 72 and had been in Kiel, where the Olympic sailing was, in 72. And they said it was night and day around the sailing athletes village before and after the attacks. And in 76, the sailors were able to get around town. They were arriving weeks before the games when there was a certain level of security around the Olympic Village. They could get out in the community somewhat, but it was ratcheted up with the games, and they were a little inside the bubble for the duration of the games.
Gare Joyce is a reporter for the Kingston Whig-Standard. He's recently written a series of articles commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Summer Games that were in Kingston. Some Olympic summer sailing competitions were held in Kingston in 1976, part of the Montreal Summer Games. He spoke with Northward's host, Mitch Teich.
We're going out on a little music from the group Bywater Call. They're a roots and soul group out of Toronto. They're doing a free show in Saranac Lake on Thursday night. This is their song, No One Else.
No, we ain't friends. No, I don't need no good times to live in. Your heat makes me shiver. Just one more child who likes to play pretend.
Toronto's Bywater Call. They're doing a free show in Saranac Lake on Thursday night at the Waterhole Music Lounge. It's part of their free summer concert series, Party on the Patio. More info at SaranacLakeWaterhole.com. That's it for the show for the day. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Catherine Wheeler. Be well.